Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another tutorial of UK Textions. So today we will learn about Android constraint layout, how to attach image to image view, how to call image from raw folder, how to create raw folder or any directory, or how to create a XML style or background in Drawable, and how to define colors in XML. So it's taking some time to build the project. So let's see, this is the splitted code over here, and by default Android layout is constraint layout. So let's remove this text over here and let's create here a text view. So I'm creating a layout over here which contain a text view, an edit text, an image view, some more text view, and maybe more edit text. So let's create the ID of this view, which is a label. So let's enter the text over here, which is user details. So now let me zoom this, and now I will split the code. So what I will do, just focus. I'm dragging this here, right? Now I'm dragging the pointer over here, then move this. It's say top margin over here with the parent layout. This is the parent layout, which is constraint layout, and this is the text view. So let's say we are using this. So we give some margin over here. So let's see what it says. It's 24. So we connect these three constraint, which is end to end of, right? Start to start of, top to top of, right? So this is text view over here, and this is constraint layout over here. So when we are assigning this to this, it means this is the top view of the constraint layout and this is the top view of the text view layout, right? So what we will do, start margin will also be 32 dB and the end margin will also be 32 dB. So it says now it's so what it shows the gap between the layout of parent layout and text layout. So let me enter this and give this so what it does, it just store the ID of the string. Let me show you, this is the ID of the string and we are save this string value user detail over here with the respective ID. Let me show you, this is the XML file of string. In values, in resources, in values, in string, it contains the TV underscore user detail and the value is user detail, right? So let's return to our layout. So let me add some property over here, which is text style, which is bold. You can use italic or normal also. We will centralize our text, which will says gravity center. By default it is start, right? So let's give the inner padding over here, inner space, which is known as padding. So let's give 10 dB over here and let's set the text size, which is approx 20 sp, right? So this rep content and with will the match parent, right? And the padding is too much, so let's give 5, right? And the size is about 18 sp, right? So let's create another text view over here, and let me show you what it will return. Margin and rep content, that's it. So what I will do over here, it says, it shows an error over here which says there are some missing constraints. So let's type over here rather than dragging. So let's type app colon constraint start of parent, right, and the end of also parent, and of also parent, but top of to top of label. So what it does, it connect this to this by default, right? So let's copy these items which says bold, italic and so on, and enter these property over here. So I just paste it over here, and let's say the text will be user profile pic, right? Same task, control alter and save the ID of this text view. So I have to enter over here the ID, respective ID over here. So I will add text dp. What is dp? pp, which means profile pic, right? So let's create over here in the middle of these two, what we will say, an image view which says rep content, and then rep content, and then this, and let's say we have to assign the constraint top to bottom of label 1 and layout bottom to top of id tpp tv text pp, right? So let's enter the id over here, which is id iv image, iv means image view, and pp profile pic. So what I will do over here, so I will remove this label to this one, so it will show below the image view. So for rest of these we will say is and of parent, or also start to the start parent. So let's wait for it, what it does, it shows over here, right? So we add some top margin over here which is 32 dp. So let's remove this to 10 dp, and let's copy these, just copy this one and enter to this, right? So we can also remove this match parent and says rep content and then center, so it will display over here without using these two margins, right? So this is the image view. So let's assign some static height and width. This is the static height and width, and about 70 to 70 dB. So let's quickly create another text view. So let's create a text view over here which will be enter username, which will be wrap content, or you can say match parent wrap content, and then we will say id, which is id tvv, enter username, so let's add the constraint over here, constraint which is end to end of parent, top to start of parent, but margin will be almost 20 dp, and the top constraint will be top to top of, constraint top to bottom of. Let's see how to assign text color, right? So this is add color, and the selected is black. What you have to do, you can easily go to values and colors, color by yourself. You have to define the property which is name, the name of the color. So let's say I want to use green one or red one, so what I will do, green color. We will end this tag. After closing the tag, what we have to do, we have to insert the color over here. So what we will add a color over here which will be white. First we use the code hash capital FFF 3 times, or you may use 6 times, right? It will display here the color, right? It will shows the color here which is white. So you will click on this, right click, and it will prompt a color palette, right? And what you will select, you will select the colors from this, or you can move this or choose the custom color, or you can also choose the resources color over here, which is predefined colors. So let's create a green color. I like this one, so you have to just click this color and remove this, and it will select by default, right? So the color code, this is the color code of this color. How much easy it is to select the color of your choice. Now main activity, and you can say I have to choose the color which is green, so it will display you the color green. Let me zoom it and show you, right? So let's say enter. So let's give some padding to this. We will enter padding and 5 dB, 5 dp. Then we will set some margin over here which is 20 dp, same as the end, 20 dp, and that's it. Now we will create another text. Now we will create added text. Same process we will do over here. Wrap content, the score, id, which is ed, et, edit text underscore, username, like this. I forgot to add the id over here, so I will add id, which will be id, and this one. So we will use at I plus id when we are assigning the id to this view, right? But when we are assigning the id, we use just at id. We will not add plus sign over here. Show that this is the predefined id and we are linking to this id. Now what we have to do, we have to enter the constraint over here. So what is the id of our above layout? It's enter username. So let's copy this one and we will use top to bottom of which means we are using the top constraint with the bottom of some constraint, which is id. We will use id and enter user. So it will connect the top constraint of this item to the bottom constraint of the TV, enter username. So let's quickly assign start of parent and end of parent. Let's give some margin like this 20 dB, and end will be 20 dB, and top margin will be approx 10 dB. And let's have some background. So let's create a drawable background. What we will do, new, left click new, and then drawable resources, click this, and we have to select the root element. We will select shape. What we will select, BG, which is background of edit text, right? So the XML contain the root element, which is shape. So we will assign the shape of rectangle. Shape will be a rectangle, and then we will add the properties over here. So we have to add the solid color, which is color white. We are assigning the solid color to the, let's add a stroke. Let's select the stroke color, which is black. So we have to assign the width here, which means how much thick stroke we want to assign it. So let's say 1 dB. It will, this is the preview of our layout. So if I want to curve this layout, we will use corner. Let's say radius means overall curveness. So I want to add 5 dB, so it will curve like this, right? And that's it. So now I will say BG text view, so it will look like this, right? So let's assign some padding over here, which is 5 dB, and add a hint over here, which is user name, and alt enter, insert txt underscore username. To create a tutorial, I just want to show you how to use constraint layout. So let me copy some the text here and the edit text, and I will just change the top and bottom of these elements, right? So let me so I created 3 fields over here, which is enter name, user age, and number. So let's create a submit button over here to intent an activity. So let's zoom it. I am dragging this here, right in center, and I will trigger this and give some space and this, and will just give padding to button, which is 10 dB, and let me show you the splitted code over here, which is this, right? Let me assign here the 15 padding, and the text will be submit. Text will be submit alter enter, txt underscore submit. Also I want to change the text color, which is white, and also want to change the background. So let's say I want to give the background green, but not. Add an id to this button. Id equals to btn id btn underscore submit, and that's it, right? So we created this view over here. So let me download an avatar and show you how to attach the image from the raw folder and from the. So let's copy them, alter, control copy, and then we will back to this and we will paste over here both, right? So let's create a raw folder, new directory, which is raw. We can save raw data over here, which will be image, video, or what else you want to enter. Music file, let me copy 2 of 1 from this image and paste it, and it will here. So let me delete it. So let me show you the UI before attaching the image, and we'll show you after attaching the image. So it's building. Let's initialize image view over here. Image view iv pp means profile pic, then init resources, it says create a method over here. So let's create the method over here. Then we will use ivpp equals to typecast with the same view, which is image. So we will use find view by id to find the particular id of this layout, which is ivpp, right? So what we will do, I will enter ivpp dot set image resources and r dot raw, because my image is in raw folder. So that's it. It will show you the error, so just add the resource type. So it's saying that you are using a notation of resource type, right? So it shows here the theme. It's look quite good, but we want to show it in white theme. So let's wait and use rather than black theme, app compact light, right? This theme one we use here and this theme one we use here, because it's night, so it's displaying the light one. So it shows the UI. So it left the space over here, which is image view. So let's unhide that code. And rerun the code. So after rerunning the code, it display the UI image over here. So just want to use intent function to start the next activity. To show the next activity, we just want to add a new activity over here, which will say new activity equals to empty activity with we'll say next activity find you by id r dot id dot bt and submit dot set on click listener. I can use this click listener like this also without wasting our time or initializing the buttons. We can use find you by id, giving the id over here, set the set view listener, and then start activity, which will open another activity. In this we will say new intent. We are using this class to open next activity class, and that's it. So let's run this. So this means main activity dot this. So let's rerun this and enter to next class. The UI of next class is the UI of next class is the empty text view, which may be hello world. So disconnected, and let's wait. So it shows here, and after submit it will act. So it opened the next activity. So that's it for today. Hope you will like this video. If you like this video, do comment, share it with your friends, and also subscribe this YouTube channel. Also like our Facebook page, which is at UKTechtion Tutorials. Also, if you want to ask any question, you can ask it on the comment section. So for more, stay connected with us. We will stay connected, stay happy, stay healthy. Allah Hafiz.